Zobia Gang live in living colors.
Again,
So,
bro. I'm pumped for this one.
It's late
President
at night.
Israel Adesanya Fans Association, according to Jibril Aminu, So
it's another 5
It's
week.
late.
It's another 5 week.
It's late.
You know,
It's late at night. I just want to point this out. It's late at night for those viewers. We are
yes.
trying.
So I'm going to still introduce this. I wanted to introduce by this way, right? Get ready for an electrifying night of mixed martial arts as the UFC returns to Saudi Arabia. This highly anticipated event features a thrilling main event between two-time middleweight champion Israel, the last stylebender Adesanya, and rising contender Nassourdine Imavov. Now, it's gonna be explosive, guys. This is explosive. Demola, tell me what you think about this fight card. What do you think about the card as a whole? What's your thoughts?
The card is actually stacked, and for reasons we know why. It's the UFC star boy, the biggest star in the UFC that is not named Conor McGregor, and it's his first non-title fight in, I think, probably about 11 fights or something since 2019, since 2018 actually. So they had to stack it like a pay-per-view. So this is basically a pay-per-view that is not numbered, and we're in for exciting fights.
Yeah, do you know what? I actually like fights like this. You know, they do this stuff once in a while. The one they did in China recently again between Peter Yan and what's his name, the Brazilian guy. That was a banger of a fight. Really, really nice guy. What are your thoughts, Jubrin, about this one? Yeah, Figueiredo. Yeah, Jubrin, tell us what you think about the card as a whole.
I'm just disappointed to find out right now that Okibolaji is not going to be fighting. Nigerian, Zimbabwean, Belgian boy. Okibolaji is not going to be fighting. He was meant to open the prelims, I believe, with Palestinian fighter Abdul Karim. And Oki withdrew from the fight. However, I have a fun fact for our listeners, or your listeners, Ebuka. Do you know that this fight card has 22 fighters on it? Okay? And without looking at the fight card, I want you to tell me how many Americans repping the USA flag are on this card. Just tell me. Don't look at it. Why are you looking?
I mean, based on the fact that you've pointed it out, I'm guessing there are probably less than 2. Just
Demola, how about you? How many?
I can think of 2 top of my head. Jamal Pogues and Terrence McKinney. Those are the only 2 Americans I remember on the fight card.
Right. So, well, you are right. There's Pogues and there's McKinney. However, there's 2 more. There's Thomas Peterson, who's in the heavyweight, and also there's Mike Davis.
Oh wow!
Who is fighting Fares? Yeah. So 4 Americans among 22 fighters, and only 1 American in the main card. That shows you how the UFC is actually global right now. It's not just an American promotion, a global promotion. So it's a stacked card. Super pumped for this one, especially because of the starting time, because we are in the UK and I personally have already given up on waking up at the middle of the night to watch UFC pay-per-views and UFC fight nights. Right, I watch them in the morning when I wake up on a Saturday. So this one, I'm going to be watching it live. So yeah, super excited for that fact alone. That fact alone is one of the. I'm not even talking about the cherry at the top where our boy Easy is going to be fighting in the main event. But yeah, super pumped. Back to you, Mr. Ibuka.
Yeah, it's always good when we have to not worry about the timing. You're right there. That's one of the things really that puts
the timing is
some of us
devastating.
Well, talking about timing, we're actually pressed for time here tonight. It's 10:41 p.m. here tonight, and we don't want to take too long here. There's no point us taking too long tonight. We're just gonna hit the nail at the head. So we're gonna start with you, Demola. Just talk about one fight in the prelims that you want to see and why. Just quickly.
On the prelims, oh wow, I think I need to do like a quick check of the prelims because I keep confusing the order of the card. That should be one fight. That's difficult for me.
You are a fan of Terence McKinney, huh, Abby?
I think I'll go for the Terence McKinney fight because Terence has a kill or be killed mentality, right? Either he knocks them out or he gets knocked out. But this time around, I think the guy he's fighting is quite experienced. He's 38, but let's not forget it's giving me shades of the Peyton Talbot fight against Barcelos. So I think something similar is going to happen. So I think the Damir Hadzovic guy is going to win by decision. He's going to make it dirty, he's going to make it ugly, and he's going to make it boring. I think that is what is going to happen. So
interesting take there. Jibril, what do you think about this guy's career so far? Terence, he came into the UFC. I think he had that awesome knockout, awesome debut, and then his hype train
and
just
a ton of hype.
Away.
Yeah,
so what do you think about the derailment of this train so far?
So the thing with Terence is, he is such an exciting fighter. I remember when, as you mentioned, when he joined the UFC, he was getting first round finishes, breaking records, or doing some sort of record of finishing in the first round, even though he's a lightweight. He reminds me of, not necessarily reminds me, but he is sort of similar like Mike Chandler, he comes in there.
You read my mind.
Yeah, so he comes in there. He just wants to like knock his opponent out. He's got notorious power for how small he is, and like the fans are always the ones that are going to be excited with his fights. Even if he loses, he's still going to be exciting, right? Except if he meets a wrestler that kind of like calms everything down. But I think he definitely a darling for the casuals. I'm really surprised at how low he is in the prelims. I understand he's not championship material because of his style, but that train, I'm still on top of it. It's almost like what's the name of that welterweight and middleweight that talks too much? The one that lost to a one championship fighter in the last pay-per-view. Kevin Holland, right? Kevin Holland is a household name, even though he takes L's. He's like a fighter that can recover from an L easily. And I feel Terence McKinney has a little bit of that going on. Even though he takes an L, if he's on a fight card, people will circle his name there. Like, okay, I would want to see this one. So same, I'd want to see this one. However, if you would ask me in the prelims, who do I want to see? I have a reputation on my podcast that I like big sweaty men. I like the heavyweights. And in these prelims, there are two heavyweight fights, right? There's the one with the Egyptian Hamdi Abdel Wahab versus Jamal Poges, and then there is Shamil Gaziev versus Thomas Peterson. Shamil is 13-1. However, his one loss was against Josinho, and it was a retirement. So he has not like lost in front of the eyes of the fans. He's a proper fighter. So I think that fight is underrated. Thomas Patterson as well. His win to loss ratio is pretty decent. So that is a fight that I think I would have probably gone with the Hamdi fight, but they are going to open the prelims. And the issue with prelims openers is no matter how good it is, the fans are not there yet. So you don't feel the energy, even if the knockout is great, you don't feel the energy. So I feel like, okay, let's get to Shamil's fight. At that point, then yes, That is what I want to see. Big sweaty men slapping each other. So the fight I'm looking most forward to seeing is
Jibril, someone is coming for
Gazier
you in the
versus
comment
Thomas.
section.
Someone is already coming for you, my boy. Making the walk says, "What's up, boys? I almost didn't know where I was when I heard Big Sweaty Man." Yeah, to be honest, even though I'm hosting this right now, I didn't understand where I was either, man. So, but I see your point.
Making the walk. Making the walk. If you watch fights, okay, let me talk to making the walk. If you watch fights, everybody is a fan of a certain weight class, and me, I like the heavy fighters, and hence why I like to see big sweaty men slapping each other. So, it's not what you think it is. I am as straight as an arrow. I am straighter than Alex Pereira's arrows. Let's go.
Right. So let's head on to the main card here. Guys, remember, like we said, we don't have time, and obviously we're going to spend a bit of time on the main guy, which the main guy while we're here really, who represents us as well.
We should go through the undercard real quick.
Let's go through. So when you talk about, so there's a guy here. Let's get straight to we're gonna jump Fares Ziam and Mike.
Remove this comment, I beg. Remove this comment.
So, let's talk of Sege. Sege has been on. Demona, tell me about Sergey Pavlovich here. This is going to be an interesting one. We're talking about big sweaty men as well. These are two big units. Sergey versus Jairzinho. Sergey, it seems like he has lost a bit of his, that aura that he had at some point.
Yeah.
Well, tell me about the guy. Yeah. Right. What do you think about him at this point? Where is he at?
He's actually very scary, and I think his last fight was against Volkov, if I am speaking correctly. I think he did fight Volkov, and he did fight before that Tom Aspinall. Am I correct? So those two fights, he started well, but he just tends to lose it midway into the fight. In the Aspinall fight, he did get caught, and it was a 50-50, let's not lie. And in the heavyweight division, there's a lot of randomness to that division. It's not about how technical you are, really. It's a lot of times, depends. Would I say to a large extent, there's the luck factor as well, because if you get caught early, it might be good night for you. Yeah. So his aggressive style has been his lucky charm, and as well it has been like his downfall as well, right? And that is why my money is actually on Pavlovich in this. He's on Jairzinho Rozenstruik in this fight, because Jairzinho Rozenstruik over time has proven that he can be calm even in the face of adversity. Jibril might not agree with that, especially because of the Ngannou fight. All right, but we should remember that Ngannou and Pavlovich are not on the same level of power. We saw how he tried to overwhelm Volkov, and Volkov was able to absorb it, whether his storm. So if that fight should get past the first round, trust me, that fight is going to Jairzinho Rozenstruik. So I did not like the money line on the Pavlovich side. I liked the money line on the Jairzinho side. Jairzinho is highly underrated. For Jairzinho to win, it's odds of 3.4. That means if you stake $1,000 on Jairzinho Rozenstruik to win, you're coming out with $3,400. So the value is on Jairzinho, and I think he has a good chance of winning. Say 45% chance of winning, and Pavlovich a 55% chance of winning. So I'd rather go with the calm guy. He's calm in the face of adversity. Yeah, that's my take on that fight.
Yeah.
Yo. I have a counter argument. You are Bismillah.
Let's hear
you are using our MMA mentality that we forget how good somebody really is. Because because Pavlovich lost to Tomas Pino, who is a champion, and then lost to Volkov in a unanimous decision victory for Volkov. You cannot write him off. If the caliber of the people that he
I
has
never
beaten
wrote him
before.
off. I never wrote him off. And remember, the numbers don't lie. I said Pavlovich has a 55% chance of winning. He does have a 55% chance of winning.
I want to tell you why you should bet on Pavlovich. Yeah.
Okay, tell me why.
He beat Curtis Blades. He finished title with Vasa in the first round. The same title with Vasa that Rosinho couldn't finish. They had Jovinho Rosenstrike needed a split decision victory to beat. The same title with Vasa. This guy slept him. He has solid power. That guy, if he connects, even when he lost to Tom Aspinall was really, really looking like he was gonna get finished in that fight.
Yeah,
yes. So forget he looks like an engineer coming into a fight, like his body build. He doesn't really look like a proper fighter, proper athlete, right? But that guy, if that guy lands, and I don't think Jairzinho is on his level when it comes to power. And we've seen what happens to Jairzinho when he fights a power puncher. So,
but Jairzinho is more technical. Trust me, Jairzinho is the more technical striker between them, and
I agree. Jairzinho used to be a kickboxer, or is he a Muay Thai fighter? He was a very decorated striker before he joined MMA and the UFC. I get all of that. When he came into the UFC, they were singing praises for him. But you know all your technique will not matter once you get punched in the face. Oh, sorry, Ebuka, carry on.
No, these two guys have power, and saying, oh, this guy has power, doesn't really hold any water here, because these are two guys that are known to, these are heavyweights, and these are some of the top guys. So, we've seen Sergey just run through guys. Let's not forget, Jibrin, I think I kind of feel you there, what you said about, it looks like
the recency bias. No, I have not forgotten. That's why I did say. I did say that.
He finished Derek Lewis in one round. Just in the first round, he finished him.
Is the all-time leader of knockouts.
Knockouts in heavyweights.
No, knockouts. Yeah. He has the most knockouts in UFC heavyweight.
Oh, Lewis, Derek Lewis,
Well, let's do our pick. So basically, Demola, you're picking Jairzinho. You're picking Sergey Pavlovich to come back.
Yo, guys, this betting thing, I don't do bets in real life. However, I will say the three of us here, let's all have our picks, right? And then we compare who was more accurate at the end of after the fight night. So I think we'll do the reveal on my show on Sunday. But what is going to be the price of the winner? If I pick more victories than you guys, what is going to be my prize? Because I'm definitely going to pick it.
So let's have a common pool. Everybody donates £50 each. So the winner gets
my problem with Demola, if you say you get money,
I'm not donating.
Flex.
Since we're meeting in March, or is it April, for the London card, right? Since we're meeting, whatever we're doing, let's relate it to that meeting. Maybe the winner or the loser will supply us with something. I will not reveal on air here, but the loser will supply us with something.
So, how about the person that has the lowest, number of, would I say, wins, shave their beards or something for charity?
I've already removed my beards in November. I did November. Yo, big shout out to Making. And
I want to acknowledge Making the Walks comment, by the way. So he says, Making the Walk, Rosenstrike has better technique, and if this was based on that, he would win. But Sergey's power is a great equalizer in this fight. He only needs one. Well, Well, they both only need one, really. Let's be honest. These two guys have power, but I do acknowledge your point there, making the walk. Thanks for the comments. You also follow up here by saying, I was at the Lewis Pavlovic fight, and that was an early stoppage, which is the one you talked about there, Jibrin. Regardless, Pavlovic has changed your career type of power. I like that. I like that expression. Change your career. Right. But yeah, so in terms of the win, I'm going with Pavlovich though. Jibrin, who are you going with?
Pavlovich. I'm going with Rosenstrike.
Right arm.
You're going with Rosenstrike. All right, good. So let's move on. Let's move on to the co-main event.
That Rosenstrike, he looks like a Hausa man, but continue. I know he's from Suriname. He's from Suriname, but he looks like he's from my village.
Okay, let me tell you a quick history of Suriname. Most of the Surinamese actually have ancestry from Ghana. So it is possible because they are Hausa from Ghana. So the stage from Ghana.
He might be my brother. He absolutely looks like people from my village that are in the farm. Go on, Ebuka. Sorry.
So in the co-main event, we'll have Shara Magomedov versus Michael Venom Page, who, by the way, we met some time ago. Demola and I.
So
and you continue reminding us. You continue reminding us that you met MVP. When will it
end? Because we have evidence. We have evidence.
Yeah, if you don't get evidence, you go split tire.
Evidence, look. Evidence.
I can never forget that day. If I just tapped me, I was like, that's MVP. I'm like, okay. Yeah. And then I went to meet him. I see my name before. I was like, MVP, what's up? And then I was like, oh, my man. And we created the scene that day, man.
So in this one, it's going to be a striking showdown. Both fighters are known for their striking abilities. Magomedov's unorthodox techniques will clash with MVP's flashy and unpredictable style. Page's experience. So MVP brings a wealth of experience from his time at Bellator, making this an intriguing matchup against the rising star Magomedov, who is undefeated. Jibrin, what's your take in this one? What's your
Shara Bullets, in my opinion, I understand he had a flashy knockout in the last fight where he had his double back elbow, double back fist knockout that looked like a fluke in my eye. I understand that they are overhyping his striking. I think they are really, really overhyping his striking. He's one of the few Dagestanis that doesn't wrestle, and he gets taken advantage of when they go to the ground. Some fighters use that strategy on him. One thing we can bank on this fight between him and MVP is that nobody will shoot for a takedown, unless maybe they suffer maybe a knockdown or they feel the other person's punch. I think we're just going to see a striking affair, mini kickboxing fight. I am going to go with my heart, not my gut. My gut is telling me maybe Shara will pull this off, but again, I don't vision a finish in this fight. I think we are going to go to the judges, and the judges might just give it to MVP. However, mark my words, if Shara wins by unanimous decision, there would be a conversation online that MVP was robbed, because I feel like that's how close that fight is going to be. Back to you, Ebuka.
I hear you on that. Kingdoms, what are your thoughts on this one? Is MVP able to do this?
Okay. So I did see a comment from Making Walk. He says, since you met MVP, I think I know who you're picking, right? However, my pick is not it's not a biased pick, right? So I said it in the previous fight that Shara had. I think Shara is actually going to be exposed very soon. And I did think Petrosian was going to do that exposure. And we tend to forget that that fight was actually a close fight until he was able to land that flashy knockout. But what people think about, what people remember, right? This is a TikTok generation. They only remember that highlight. But go watch back that fight. That fight was actually very close. Aman Petrosian gave him a run for his money. However, there are levels to this game. MVP is a high level striker. He's one of the best MMA strikers in the world. I think there was something on, is it Topology, where they were ranking the top, the greatest strikers, MMA strikers of all time. And I think he was like number 32 in the world. So that means that guy is top 50 strikers of all time in MMA. I don't think Shara's striking is at his level. And also Shara's gas tank is actually, it leaves much more to be desired. Yeah, it leaves much more to be desired. And also his grappling is not very good. And recently MVP has been working on his grappling, especially after the Ian Gary fight. He did have a jiu-jitsu match with Carlos Condit in London, Polaris event towards the end of last year. So he's putting in that work. So I think he might want to mix it and confuse Shara Magomedov. I won't be surprised to see MVP going for takedowns and trying to use his newly found skills in jiu-jitsu. So it's MVP. I go for MVP.
Right. That's an interesting pick there. I mean, who am I going for? I think, yeah, I do agree with what you guys have said. To be honest, I think Shara. I was also disappointed with that win. He looked just normal, looked average, and for me, I think MVP. I did say that his experience will come to bear in this one, and I think in that decision, I do agree with Jibril that this might go into a decision. But then, even though, of course, we cannot trust these judges, especially when they are in the zone of this guy,
Shara has
Shara.
that home advantage.
Home advantage, yeah. But but I think MVP has what it takes to win this one. I really do, really do. Making the walk. Thanks for your comment. As always, Shara Bullet is a point fighter who moves forward, and MVP is a counter striker with a 6-inch reach advantage. MVP wins easy. Wow. What Demola, what's your thoughts on this comment here? Is this apt or is it just?
It is actually well articulated. To be honest, there are levels in this game. They are both point fighters, right? But MVP has that wealth of experience.
Yeah.
And just to quickly point out this fight, Dana White did make an error when announcing the fight. He actually mentioned that MVP was a former world champion at Bellator, but MVP was never the champion at Bellator. I was wondering who did the fact check for Dana White to make such a bold claim, but he's actually championship material. He did fight for the interim championship at Bellator. So looking at the level of fighters that MVP has faced, they are not on the same level. It's a mismatch. This is hype versus experience. And I said it previously, and I'm going to say it again. This is the time finally that the pirate gets, arrested, gets exposed. Come on, you'll see it. It's actually very easy.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm more surprised that Dana White even mentioning Bellator, because he never mentions all these other promotions. I'm not surprised.
Like what is he trying? What is he trying to achieve? By saying that somebody who was never the champion was a champion. I don't know. Jibril, do you have anything to say about that?
I beg, no vex. I grab my phone. They've been sending me something will distract me.
Okay, Jibril. So Dana White in his announcement, those videos where he's always yelling, and at the end says, "If you don't know, now you know." Right? He said a fact you don't know about Shara Magomedov versus MVP, and then he says MVP is a former world champion with Bellator.
We remember. Wait. We know Dana White is one of the most pettiest SOBs out there. There's nothing money we not do, because we saw Dana White shamelessly promoting a boxing fight in the UK. Remember when I think that's the AJ versus Dubois fight in Wembley. he promoted it. He posted the video because it's how he said he should.
Wow.
But in the case of Bellator, he feels like he can name drop Bellator because he knows that that business and PFL and all of that has gone to
He's
has
gone.
gone to drain. You know how I feel about PFL, Demola. I don't have to say anything here.
You
In
don't have
case
to
you don't
emphasize
know,
it.
well, in case you don't know, for the audience listening, I absolutely despise the whole model of PFL and all their point system and their knockout and their tournament. I am absolutely over it. I've been saying this from time to time to time. So for them to take all that amount of money they have and throw it away do you know how much they've given away in cash in the past 5 years? Just by doing that 1 million Grand Prix nonsense they are doing.
It's
How much they give away and nobody cares. Anyways, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Dana White. Um, so, but even in UFC broadcast, UFC are not shy to name drop other promotions on their broadcast, and I don't see anything wrong with that because they've been mentioning it. They don't even only mention it; they also put it in graphics. You know, when the fighters do their walk-in, when they do their entrance, and they put like some details about them, they write what the fighters have done before. They also write Bellator
But
there.
he was never the
But
champion at Bellator, and Dana White
yeah,
was claiming he
it
was a
was a
champion.
mistake. It was a mistake. Dana White that said
Yeah.
that power slap. Dana White said power slap has the most followers than any sports franchise.
First franchise. Yeah. That was
He said what?
ridiculous.
He said what? So
That was
Dana White is a
ridiculous.
promoter. How many
Anyway,
times you
yeah.
want to get? Don't get me started with Dana White. I just want to say one more thing. How many times did Dana White tell us that UFC Africa is coming when we had the Three Kings? Eh? How many times did he tell us that Dricus Duplessis would defend his title next in African soil? Are we
It's
not
only,
going to Australia?
it's only
See,
coming next
forget
year.
that. Forget that Dana White guy, Jerry. Anything that comes out from his mouth is not gospel. But yeah, big fan of his business, man.
Yeah. Well, making the work again says, bro, PFL has a trash model. Well, that's not what we're here to talk about today. Some of us do actually agree with that comment, but right. So,
Wait,
guys,
yes, PFL is trash. PFL sucks. PFL sucks. But go on.
yeah, thanks everyone watching us live now. We're coming up to the main event of the evening. Our guy. So I'm going to just read out a couple of lines for us, just as we digest this guy. He's someone that I don't think needs an introduction in the fight game. Adesanya's comeback. So Israel Adesanya, obviously two-time middleweight champion, is looking to bounce back from. He's on a 2-5 skid right now, losing streak now, and this is his first non-title fight in nearly 6 years. That's really, really significant. Demola, I'll come to you as the president of the Israel Adesanya fan club. So what's the significance of Izzy coming back for his first non-title fight in 6 years? And would there be any sort of pressure on him just because of this alone? Or would the pressure come from him having lost 2 now in a row? More. What do you think? What's he thinking right now, in your opinion?
So, in terms of the pressure, I think there should actually be less pressure on him right now. It's a lot of pressure when there's a title on the line, either as a champion or as a challenger. There's a lot of pressure, even looking at just the media commitment, looking at the hype, looking at the contract situation. There is a lot when it comes to title fights, and title fights are typically on pay-per-views. But this is the first time he's not in a title fight, and he has actually been up there in his career. He he's actually at a stage where he has nothing to prove to anybody any longer. And watching his documentary, I see certain things about him. He has gone for therapy. His he's marked a lot of things off his bucket list, and he mentioned something that really did get to me. He said he's set for life financially. I wish, I am able to say that someday in the very, very close future. You know what it means when you say, you can confidently say you're set for life. Even his coach as well, he is set for life. So those guys are not under unnecessary pressure. And it's Saudi Arabia. You are doing a fight night. He might have certain, mixed feelings about, wow, so this is how life is when you're off the top, right? So I think he's just going to that fight with on a neutral energy. Yeah, it's a 50-50 thing.
Yeah.
So he's going to be able to be free to express himself. Kamaru Usman himself said it as well. When he lost the championship, he felt like a weight, was lifted off his shoulder. They say uneasy lies the head that wears a crown. It's not easy being at the top because everybody's gunning for you. But when you are off the top and you can just express yourself, it's called mixed martial arts for a reason. It's arts. Art is expression. And he's going to be able to express himself freely, and he's going to be a dangerous animal, I think. It's different when you're able to free yourself and go with the flow. He's going to be in a flow state in this fight, and you'll see he's going to show out. He's going to show up and show out.
I
do
like Izzy. Yeah, I do like Izzy a lot. I love Izzy a lot. He's one of those guys, He says it as it is. He doesn't care whose ox is God. He just sort of, comes up, says what he wants to say, and expresses himself the way he wants, and doesn't care really. What are you going to do about it? But we're going to talk about Imavov's fight. So Imavov's fight, Nassourdine Imavov has been on a hot streak, winning 3 consecutive fights. His only loss was a short notice bout against, of course, our guy, Sean Strickland. Jibrin Aminu of the African Fighters.
Yes, sir.
Talk to us a little bit about Nassourdine Imavov. What kind of mindset is he going to come into this fight with? Is he coming with to finish easy? Is he coming to say, guy, man, you're on a losing streak. Your confidence is low now. You've lost your title. You've lost I'm going to just finish you off in front of my own sort of people, home crowd. So what was his mindset?
To be honest, it's in his hands. This is the biggest fight of his career, the biggest fight of his life.
His fight to lose.
Izzy is almost like in that position where Conor McGregor is, where some people would rather fight Izzy in a main event than actually fight the champion. Again, the way the fight goes and whatever mindset Imavov comes with depends on how Izzy comes into this fight with. We know Izzy is getting up there in age. We know that Izzy's chin is not what it used to be. We know that Izzy is slowing down. We know that Izzy does not have that pop that he used to have normally at the end of his shots. However, even with all these things I say, Izzy is a far superior striker than Imavov. So if I'm Imavov coming into this fight, I'm not going to go into the first round saying, oh, let me see where this fight goes, like testing the waters. I understand it's a 5-rounder. If I was him, I'll come in, immediately start closing the distance, start to initiate some grappling, try to keep Izzy on the ground for like a minute so he gets Izzy thinking too much. So that's what he's got to do to win this fight. Mix it up a little bit, and he's got some pop in his shots, so he's got some power as well. He can strike in very close distance. However, I do notice that he leaves his leg in the open. He stands southpaw and orthodox, and he leaves his leg in the open. So Izzy and the CKB boys, we know what they do. They chop a fighter down from bottom to top. So he should look out for those leg kicks. Hope he's prepared to check them. And I don't know if he's comfortable in both stances. I can't remember. I haven't watched him enough to know how much fluid he is on his feet. However, I think he has the ability to like hit Easy with that one shot that would throw him off. Because like we've seen Easy now, the last time Easy took a shot clean in the face and won a fight was that war he had with Kevin Gastelum. After that, anytime he takes a clean shot in the face, he's probably gonna lose. So he should look he's more than capable to land that one shot that Easy didn't see coming. So yeah.
Yeah, more than capable. I mean, this both guys are, I think, more than capable of doing damage in this fight. And this fight can be, one of two things. It can be a very interesting fight with sort of back and forth, as we've seen before, guys just going for it and doing everything they can to win. It can also be another easy sort of ball fest, as some people have said while he was a champion, where he just tries to like sort of fight for points and try and switch stances constantly, regularly, constantly moving and all that, and just make it a boring decision. King Dems, which one of the two do you think it will be?
I don't think we get to see another Euro Romero fight. Yeah, easiest fight with Euro Romero, in my opinion, is one of the most boring fights in UFC history. I think another one that comes
It's
close
not
is
as boring as
Kala
Derek Lewis
Esparza.
and Ngannou.
Kala Esparza versus Rose Namajunas
Namajunas.
is, and
Yeah, yeah,
that is
yeah, yeah. I
another
remember that one.
very extremely boring fight in the UFC.
Jibril just
But
mentioned another one as well. Francis.
yeah, Francis
Yeah.
Ed, man, that was annoying. I think Dana White was pissed off after the fight. I think he wanted to cut
Yeah.
Francis after the fight, but he said some people came to beg him. Anyways, that's his problem. But back to what we have at hand. I think
Dana's lies. You fell for Dana's lies, but go on.
I said that's his problem, right? So I think for this one, and really, when you think about it, there's a lot of pressure on the champion. So you have to bring the fight to the champion. But this time around, Easy is no longer the champion, and Easy knows in his head he is at the tail end of his career, but he has certain things on his checklist, on his bucket list of achieving in his career that he will try to experiment. So I think we're going to see an Easy in a free flow state, and that Easy in the free flow state, I doubt if his output will result in a boring fight. At this rate, he's not afraid to lose. It's not like, oh, he want to
Yeah.
keep the championship or make a new legacy. So it's not going
Yeah.
to be boring. I don't think
Phil
so.
Hayes, making the walk has a point. He said, I don't trust anyone who lost to Phil Hills. Easy wins. Yeah,
He's not the
I
same
guess that's
fighter
fair game, isn't it?
from
Yeah,
he's not the same
yeah.
he's not the same fighter from from that year.
Mm.
He's made improvement over time.
I'm, I'm gonna read another line before I come back to you, Jibril. So styles clash here. This is gonna be a style clash. So Adesanya striking here, his striking prowess and the counter-attacking style that he has will be tested against Imavov's well-rounded skill set and aggressive approach. So, Jibrin, in your humble opinion or in your expert opinion, which of the
Hey, expert.
styles will come back victorious?
Um, which of the styles will be victorious? Obviously, with the history we've got, if a fight like this happen, Easy we have the edge. If Easy is fighting another striker, right? However, I'm going to tell you guys this: in the past 2 years, MMA has broken my heart so many times, and right now I'm very, very cold-blooded, right? Going into a fight of somebody I love, like Easy, right? Going to a Kamaru Usman fight as well. When I watch those fights, at this point, I always have it in the back of my mind, like they're probably gonna lose. I mean, they're probably gonna lose. They're
Hmm.
probably gonna lose. So emotionally, I I am getting prepared for what is to come for Easy if he loses, right? Are we plotting? Okay, because we discussed about plotting what's going to happen if Easy wins. If Easy wins, then he would have a chance to be a 3-time champion, right? Nobody would care about the Chimaev being a contender anymore. So stylistically, I think Easy has the edge on this one.
Yeah. Straight to the point kind of talk. Yeah, I mean, and I guess a lot of people as well watching would agree with that. I'm not sure a lot of people would disagree. I agree as well. I think I'm on that train. I think Easy will win this. I think we'll probably see sort of a masterclass, because I don't think he doesn't have to put any pressure on himself. I don't, he doesn't need to.
Exactly.
Just has to
And I
go
was going
there
to
and
point
fight.
that out. The pressure is actually on Imavov, because Imavov is trying to build his legacy, and he wants that, big name Easy on,
On
his death list. So the pressure is on Imavov. He's the one that is the uprising star.
That has to bring the fight.
He has to bring the fight to Easy. He has everything to fight.
Right. Yeah, right. I mean, thanks guys for tonight. Final, I guess all of us then are going with Easy, right? Not sure anyone does anyone have
think about it this way. Easy beating Imavov does not add much to his legacy, but Imavov beating Easy adds, the whole world.
Easy beating Imavov adds to Easy's legacy, and I tell you why.
I did not say it does not add. I say it doesn't add much to his legacy.
It adds much. It adds much.
Somebody
and
who's beating the Pereiras of this world.
I will tell you why.
Of this world.
I will tell you why. I will tell you why. You know I'm a story. You know I'm a story. I'm a storyteller. I'm a storyteller, bro. Listen. Easy. Listen now. Easy beats Oga, make I talk. Easy beats Imavov. The host has disappeared, but I will still say it. Easy beats Imavov, right? Easy then qualifies to fight Dracos because they are looking for a reason to put Easy back into that Dracos fight. I'm saying if Easy beats Imavov, then next week, the week after, there will be Dracos versus Strickland. If Strickland wins, Easy is going to go and get his get back. There will be Easy versus Strickland 2. If it's Dracos, there will be Easy versus Dracos 2. Now, if Easy wins the title, he will be the first 3-time champion in the history of the UFC. Right? He can retire and ride through the sunset. Right now, when you are talking about GOATs in MMA, greatest of all time, Easy's name is not in there. You understand? But if Easy wins a 3rd title, his name is going to come up in that Mount Rushmore because he has a solid backing. So to talk about what does this fight do for him, it does everything for him. Easy is a respected striker, but you cannot even call him the greatest middleweight of all time because there's Anderson Silva, right? But if he wins the 3rd title, he's going to be the greatest middleweight of all time, and then he'll be in the GOAT conversation. You understand? So to answer making the walk, Kamzat fights the winner of DDP and Strickland. I know Hamzat is in the corner. However, Easy has more pull, has more influence with the top brass of the UFC. We've seen him do it countless times. He is their biggest star after Conor McGregor, right? So the UFC are in the business of money. Why do you think Dana White was kissing the ass of Khabib to come back and fight Conor McGregor? Because they want the fighter that can draw power. UFC are still in the pay-per-view business. They need to sell pay-per-views. If to say maybe UFC are like in a streaming business like WWE is on Netflix, they wouldn't care again about having superstars as such. But now, because of the model they have of pay-per-views, people actually pay money to watch these fights. They would want to have that title picture. And again, it doesn't favor Chimaev again because of his visa restriction. Chimaev could have fought this fight, but he couldn't come to Australia. He cannot go to America. He's restricted to Abu Dhabi. So
we already talked about that
UFC
last week, didn't we? Last Sunday, yeah.
UFC doesn't only do business in Abu Dhabi. So UFC would easily, they're just looking for a reason to give Easy that title fight. And they would easily do that.
Yeah.
Strickland wants the title fight. Dricus wants the title fight against Easy. None of them want to fight Chimaev. So if they say Chimaev or Easy, they will jump on Easy straight up because they feel like that's the winnable fight for them. The champion would want to fight
big
Easy,
body fight.
Yes, the champion would want to fight Easy. The promotion will want Easy to fight. So there you have it. I beg Ebuka, take it away.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess we've made our pick already for this fight, and it's gonna be an interesting card. I think, guys, just to watch this one responsibly, and look forward to this one. And don't forget to check out the King Dem's podcast. There's a lot on there for you. Also, join us regularly as well on Sundays, 9 p.m. for the review this Sunday, especially for the review of this verified card. We're going to be there 9 p.m. on the African Fighters with Jibril Amir. And also on here on chat with Taiko, we've got very interesting content for you as well, guys. Check it out as well. Subscribe to all the channels, and I guess it's been a good one, guys. I don't think there's anything. Have we missed anything? I'm not sure we have missed anything.
Shalom. Great stream, fellas.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Making the walk.
You've actually made the walk.
Making the walk. Look, search for my show, The African Fighters. Yeah, give me a like and a subscribe. Thank you very much. We stream every Sunday around this time. Thank you very much. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen,
let's give you five bottles.
He said 5 bottles of NSC VSOP.
5 bottles of NSC for me.
He said 1 for the DJ, 1 for the head man. He said 1 for the staff, 2 for in table.
5 for making
no food, no poo body.
No poo body.
You don't get money, you just spray perfume. Who you want to impress? Hello. International. He said